You are about to make a choice that will quietly define your future. It won't feel loud or momentous. It won't arrive with a grand announcement. In the quiet of this moment, you are making a selection that, looking back, will mark a turning point. A feeling you trusted, an instinct you followed. The future often unfolds this way, through subtle decisions made when no one else is watching. And the object you are drawn to now will reveal the nature of the path you are already walking. In front of you are 5 keys. They are never just objects. They are ancient symbols of access, of trust, of potential. A key does not break a door down. It invites you to open it. And the way you choose to unlock what's next speaks volumes. So, before you decide, do this. Pause. Release the need to overthink. Simply observe. Let your gaze soften and notice which key holds your attention first. The one that calls to you without logic is the one that matters. That pull is not accidental. It comes from a place within you that already knows the direction. Your conscious mind may not understand yet, but you are not selecting a piece of metal. You are choosing a mindset. The life ahead isn't something that occurs to you passively. It is crafted, step by deliberate step, through the choices made in solitude. The key you feel connected to mirrors how you are preparing to meet your tomorrow. It reflects whether you are seeking foundation, liberty, evolution, security, or mastery. There are no incorrect answers here. No superior destiny. Each key symbolizes a distinct philosophy for constructing a meaningful existence. Each resonates with a different chapter of human growth. Your presence here, making this choice, means you are looking beneath the obvious. You're contemplating not just what you desire, but the manner in which you intend to arrive there. Now hold that first choice clearly in your mind. Do not waver. That initial instinct was pure. It showed you something true. In the moments that follow, we will uncover what your chosen key says about the future you are unlocking. Not as a fortune told, but as a mirror held up to the journey you've already begun. Breathe. Keep your key in focus. Let's proceed. If the key of foundation called to you, your vision for the future is built upon what is solid, trustworthy, and lasting. You are not one to leap without looking. You appreciate bedrock. You know that anything of true substance is crafted patiently, over time. While others pursue fleeting wins or endless novelty, you find resonance in predictability, order, and enduring safety. For you, the days ahead feel more approachable when the ground is firm beneath your feet. This key reflects a psyche shaped by conscientiousness. You likely anticipate needs before they arise. You strategize, you organize, and you weigh outcomes. In love, work, or personal aspirations, you gravitate toward routes that offer certainty over chance. There is a deep reassurance for you in having a map, or at least in knowing the terrain is stable. Your power is in perseverance. You have the capacity to wait. You recognize that advancement is often gradual, and that dedication, applied consistently, creates significance. People probably see you as reliable, centered, and authentic. You may find others turning to you when turbulence hits, because you embody stillness amidst the storm. However, this key also hints at a quiet, internal dialogue. When security becomes the primary compass, transition can seem like a threat. You might pause before seizing an opening, even a promising one. There can be an apprehension, sometimes unspoken, that venturing into the new could unravel what you've carefully assembled. Consequently, you might remain in circumstances that feel protected but no longer spark development. This isn't a lack of bravery. It means you cherish preservation. The lesson of the foundation key is not to discard what steadies you, but to stay receptive to growth. Stability should enable life, not confine it. A solid base exists so that building upwards is possible, not so that all movement ceases. Your destiny is not designed to be brittle, but neither is it meant to be static. As you go forward, this key gently prompts a question. Am I choosing safety because it fosters my expansion, or because it shields me from discomfort? The answer seeks honesty, not criticism. When steadfastness and adaptability align, your future becomes both resilient and vibrant. You can construct something enduring without shutting the windows to new horizons. And as this truth integrates, sense how another potential starts to form at the edge of your awareness. Beyond order and assurance, there exists a tomorrow shaped by flow, autonomy, and optionality, one that prizes liberation as deeply as safety. This is where the next key patiently rests. If you felt drawn to the key of liberty, the future you envision cannot be confined by strict blueprints or single lanes. For you, existence feels most authentic when it stays unwritten. You are attracted to potentiality more than promises, to journey more than destination. While some find solace in predictability, you find vitality in possibility. The sense of having many roads available matters more to you than pinpointing the exact endpoint. This key indicates a profound need for self-determination. You cherish the right to choose your own way, how you exist, where you wander, who you evolve into. You resist being finalized too soon, or confined to definitions that feel tight. Regulations, assumptions, and fixed schedules may chafe not because you dismiss duty, but because you want your responsibilities to be consciously elected, not mandated. Your strength is in fluidity. You can navigate shifts with assurance. When the landscape changes, you recalibrate. When plans dissolve, you discover new footing. You have faith in your ability to respond in real time, believing that understanding emerges through living, not through rigid control. This pliancy lets you investigate trails others might avoid. Yet, this key also uncovers an inner dynamic. Liberty, if entirely unanchored, can subtly become agitation. You may find commitment challenging when things start to feel routine or binding. At times, you might depart, not because a path is flawed, but because remaining would demand sinking deeper roots. A quiet fear can exist, that picking one direction means forfeiting all the others. This generates an internal paradox, the urge to advance, coupled with the dread of being fastened down. The key of liberty invites equilibrium. It asks you to see that choice does not vanish when dedication starts. Real freedom isn't the lack of a path. It is the power to select a path with purpose, trusting you can still evolve within it. Your future doesn't need to stay vague to stay free. When liberty is directed by intention, it gains potency. When choice is married to accountability, it generates thrust instead of hesitation. You are not meant to drift perpetually. You are meant to discover, then to cultivate. As this awareness settles, the energy of motion begins to transform. Liberty naturally invites metamorphosis, and change beckons a deeper becoming. Once you permit yourself to walk a road, even temporarily, you unlock the possibility of emerging anew. That is where the next key starts to whisper, forged not by option alone, but by the willingness to be remade. If the key of metamorphosis spoke to you, your future isn't something you await politely. It is something you undergo. Your story may already show this. You are someone who has experienced conclusions that reshaped your core. Instances where the former self could not continue. While many dread disruption, you have learned that rebirth is frequently the only way through. Ease has rarely been your instructor. Transition has. This key reveals a profound kinship with growth through alteration. You are not scared to interrogate your own identity, even when the replies are uneasy. When something ceases to align, a conviction, a part you play, a connection, you sense it deeply, and rather than dismissing that signal, you ultimately heed it. This grants you the capacity to reconstitute yourself, perhaps many times over. Your fortitude lies in resilience. You comprehend that an ending is not always a defeat, that deconstruction can be part of assembling something more authentic. You can enter the unclear without demanding assurances, believing that insight will arrive through the process. Because of this, you often arise with more wisdom, more self-knowledge, more in harmony with your essential nature. But this key also points to a concealed strain. When transformation becomes routine, calmness can feel dubious. You may find it hard to linger in spaces that feel peaceful but uneventful. Quiet might feel like stagnation, even when nothing is broken. Sometimes you exit too swiftly, not because something is damaged, but because you link motion with progress. There is also the chance of defining yourself too much by the process of change itself. If you are always in flux, you may struggle to identify what is worth keeping. Not every discomfort requires demolition. Some things require patience, not finales. The key of metamorphosis invites a richer view of evolution. True transformation is not perpetual chaos. It is conscious development. It is the skill to change while bringing forward what is essential. To release what no longer fits without denying your past. To build a future that respects both your history and your destination. You are not meant to dwell in permanent in-between states. You are meant to weave change into a cohesive sense of self. As this realization takes root, a new longing begins to emerge. After profound change, the spirit instinctively seeks something else, limits, and a layer of safeguarding for what has been renewed. Growth creates exposure, and exposure requests tenderness. This is where the following key emerges, offering not alteration, but refuge. If you selected the key of sanctuary, the future you are unlocking is treated with reverence. You know that not every entryway should remain ajar. After upheaval, renewal, and recreation, there arrives a phase when the soul wishes to guard what has been restored. You are a person who values well-being, borders, and discernment, not from anxiety, but from wisdom. This key reflects a tomorrow shaped by prudence and consideration. You have likely learned through living that boundless openness has a price. For you, trust is built, not given freely. You watch before you engage. You assess stability before you proceed. This makes you thoughtful about companions, ventures, and directions. That thoughtfulness is a power. Your capability lies in judgment. You can perceive when something feels off, misaligned, or hurried. You know how to stop, how to delay, how to conserve your spirit when needed. While some hurry toward every opening, you grasp that certain doors are better left shut for now. But this key also reveals an internal friction. Sanctuary, when overextended, can quietly become seclusion. You might find yourself hesitating even when the environment is benign. Lowering your guard may seem perilous, even when trust has been earned. At moments, you could be protecting yourself not from a threat, but from an opportunity. A subtle concern may linger beneath the vigilance. What if I damage what I've made? The key of sanctuary softly invites you to explore that query without blame. Protection is intended to nurture life, not limit it. Boundaries are healthiest when they can breathe, firm enough to exclude harm, yet permeable enough to allow for nourishment. Your future does not need perpetual fortification. It needs confidence in your capacity to meet what comes. Genuine safety stems not from locking every entrance, but from knowing you can manage what walks through. You can modify your limits as you expand. You are permitted to feel both secure and receptive. And if these reflections are helping you see your patterns and inner landscape more clearly, please consider liking this video. It directly supports this channel, Wines of Thought, and allows us to keep exploring the hidden psychology that guides our lives. As this knowing solidifies, something begins to stir under the surface of Sanctuary. Beyond caution and care, there often rests a quiet force eager to advance, a compulsion to accomplish, to construct, to ascend. That force is intent, and that is where the final key now guides us. If the key of intent claimed your attention, the future you are unlocking is not a passive wait. It is an active pursuit. There is a focused drive within you, a notion that life should progress towards something of consequence. You are motivated by advancement, by aim, by the sense that your actions are accumulating towards something beyond the immediate. Staying inert rarely feels neutral. It feels like regression. This key mirrors a future molded by deliberation. You are likely a person who defines aims, even if silently. You contemplate expansion, attainment, and influence. You want your endeavors to carry weight, whether through vocation, artistry, guidance, or personal excellence. You feel a draw toward realization. You are not content with latency. You seek tangible expression. Your vigor lies in forward motion. When you dedicate yourself to a thing, you bring vitality, concentration, and resolve. You can press through barriers that deter others. You comprehend diligence. You understand trade-offs, and you are prepared to undertake the necessary work to progress, even when the route is tough. But this key also reveals a delicate harmony you must nurture. Intent can quietly become strain. You may connect your sense of value to output, milestones, or outside validation. Rest can feel unmerited. Pausing may seem hazardous, as if slowing means losing momentum. In time, this can lead to depletion, not from a lack of power, but from carrying too much without relief. A deeper inquiry may live beneath the drive. Who am I when I am not producing? The key of intent invites you to ponder this without alarm. Drive is not the issue. Aim without significance is. When desire is detached from what you hold dear, it consumes you. When it is connected to your values, it sustains you. You are allowed to aspire for more. You are also allowed to appreciate the present. Authentic ambition does not demand constant strife. It flourishes when fed by lucidity, balance, and self-regard. The future you are unlocking is not solely about what you create, but about the person you become in the act of creation. Now, look back for a moment. Each key stood for a different approach to what lies ahead. Foundation, liberty, metamorphosis, sanctuary, intent. They do not operate in isolation. They are not separate trails. They are currents that rise at different tides in your life. The key you chose does not foretell your fate. It illuminates how you are engaging with your potential at this very moment, and that can shift. If this exploration brought you clarity, please like this video and subscribe to Winds of Thought. It enables us to continue delving into the psychology behind the choices that silently design our days. Sometimes the future doesn't start with a strategy. It starts with a silent yes. And sometimes all it requires is a single, trusting choice.